Good morning, folks. This is Greg Judy, and we're at Green Pastures Farm, July 27th, and we're moving the mob onto another pasture that's pretty brown. But Isaac made the comment a while ago the cattle are handling the drought pretty darn well if you look at them. Of course, they're still getting moved 3 times a day, and there's not much green left. It's all the cool season grasses have turned pretty much brown. But you know what? We're not feeding hay. And went by a place the other day, and a guy had 3 bales that he was unrolling out in the field, and it's like, oh my gosh, 3 bales a day. Right now in July, and that's $120 to $150 a bale. And that's going to leave a hickey on your pocketbook. These cattle are good. My boy, he's just a stud. Well, this is 017. Well, that's 117. We were looking earlier at 017, where the machos are. We put one of the 3-year-old machos in here. The rest of them are all 2-year-olds. Ground is just dry. We made a paddock move yesterday across the road. We went across a gravel road. Of course, when you get in gravel, you're going to see dust, but it was like a car went by. You know, the dust that the cattle kicked up in that gravel road. And boy, that was a beaut. Man, he is thick. That's just a young calf. He already looks like a bull. But folks, there's something to be said in a drought for moving your animals. Not only is it good, it's good nutrition for them, but they enjoy it. And if they enjoy it, they're gonna be happier, and their mental attitude changes. Just get moved. You're gonna come over here when they find all the cats. They're seeing they're all grazing. It's not very good grazing over here, but you know what? It's a whole lot better than feeding hay. But it hit 101 yesterday with 30 to 40 mile-an-hour winds all day long. I've never seen wind blow that hard all day long in July without it, not raining. Now down south Missouri, actually about 30 miles south of us, they got a rain. It rained for like, 30 minutes. Jan was down there with her parents, and she said, Craig, I hate to even tell you this, but it rained for 30 minutes at Ashland. I'm like, yeah, good. They need it too. And maybe next time it'll be our turn. That's 185. Oh, he's a stud. It may be dry and it may be hot, but these South Pole bulls are still doing the job. Oh, there's a pretty little heifer. Slick. Slick. The boys went down to change the water. See, folks, this was not brush hogged off. We didn't clip this, and I'm really glad that we didn't, because yesterday at 101 degrees and 30 to 40 mile-an-hour winds, by leaving this grass tall, it slowed the wind down. It kept some of the moisture, what precious little moisture that there is down there. It kept the plants from drying out quite so bad. I mean, I'll show you. See, there's my hand. I know you all in the West are just laughing. Greg, you don't know what a drought is, and you're right. You're absolutely right, because I've been in Arizona, and folks, there's nothing but bare dirt out there in a lot of those places. And I think Arizona hit 100 and, I don't know, down around Tucson, I think it's 113 degrees or something. Takes a pretty tough critter to live out there. That's hot. I don't care what you say. But today's supposed to hit 102. The winds, we got a nice little breeze out here this morning, but it's nothing like it was yesterday. Yesterday was just brutal. But you know what? The clover's still green. Here's the seed head, the dry one that we're trying to get. I can't get the seed out with one hand, but there's seed in there, and that'll be our seed for next year. This is what we call Marshalls. Actually, his daughter Frances inherited this. There's a 80 right here. And then between Steve, the landowner, and Jan and I, we bought the other 80. So we were able to keep Marshall's farm together. Here you can see where we fed hay last winter. Just a little spot that was a little bit thick, and it actually mulched the grass out right there. But if we hadn't fed hay on this, there wouldn't be any grass up here. Look at that. So y'all see me unrolling hay in the wintertime. Well, it looks like Greg's wasting a lot of feed. I'm not wasting feed. Because the old adage is if you can put down a blade of grass with a cow hoof or lay one on the ground complements of hay, it'll give you two back. That old cow, she's a good, that's one of our lead steers. That's 196. She's feeding that, his little mouth got milk all over it. Getting him some good breakfast. Folks, you know, as bad as the drought is, and it's bad for us here, we haven't had any, well, Isaac and I are looking at our rain chart. We haven't had a rain over 2 inches now for over a year. Not at one time. We've had some 1.2s, we've had some 1.5s, but we haven't had 2 come, and so that's starting to put a little pressure on our ponds. We've got a couple ponds that we just can't use anymore. Just got down too low. Those are ponds that leaked. When you got a pond that leaks in the drought, you're pretty much gonna run out of water on that pond. Fortunately, we have several ponds built, and the cattle are just gonna have to walk. I mean, this pond that they're on right now, I'll bring you down and show it to you. It's actually a pretty nice pond. I built this on our what we call Cindy's 40, and because I built it, the landowners called it Greg's Pond. They name every pond on their farm, and this one's called Greg's Pond because Greg built it. Well, I paid to have it built. Jan and I did. Tell you what, folks, this feels pretty good. I mean, I went by the neighbors out there. It looked like a putting green. You could take a golf ball and a putter and go to putt on the pasture. There wasn't anything on it. Nothing. Of course, they're using the Columbus method. You know, you all heard me talk about the Columbus method. That's you turn your cows out in the spring and discover them in the fall. No management, and boy, when you get in a drought, I already see where the Missouri is releasing all this money. You know, you gotta go get your money because you didn't manage your grass. And I realize there's some people just don't have a big enough area to run as many cattle as they've got. They're overstocked, and they need to realize that. And folks, y'all been following me a while. We sold those steers back in May. And there was, I think it was 32 or 35 steers went out of here. And they were, you know, in that 500, 520 range, whatever it was. And we preserved our grass for the cows. And we've probably sold another close to 20 cows since then. Ones that I call poor performers. You can tell by looking, the calf isn't milking. They're not milking very good with the calf. Or they've got a long hoof. Or you just you make up, you know, you got to have a call list. And sold a few of the older cows. We sold some cows that last year. You know, Isaac keeps a close eye on that, and we had a cow that gave us a bad calf last year. And she got put on the sale block, and I don't sell stuff I don't want to sell stuff like that to people, especially represented as seed stock. So when you sell them at the sale barn, people know you're bringing in stuff that you didn't want, typically. And so, you know, that's why it doesn't sell for as much. But in the seed stock business, you want to sell, you know, good cattle. You don't want to sell something that maybe didn't work out for you. Well, maybe it'll work out for the next person. Probably not. There's that old wiregrass. Oh, that stuff, if you take your hand and pull it up through it real quick, it'll actually cut. I'm not going to do it. It'll cut your hand. That's how sharp it is. These cows are going to town on this grass. It's been about 65 days since we've been in here. But the fact that the boys are moving them 3 times a day, that definitely has something to do with why these cattle look as well as they do. And they're just, I don't know if I've ever seen them any slicker than this. The flies aren't too bad. I mean, some of the cows don't even have any flies on them. But when you're moving 3 times a day, folks, you're outrunning the manure, the flies. And we're outrunning the manure too. The manure is left behind us. And typically a lot of your flies, they'll cling to that manure. And if you keep moving forward, you're constantly leaving a lot of that fly load behind you. And we jumped the road yesterday. We were over on Gordon's today. We're on Cindy's. So we're traveling. We're traveling with the mob, and the boys are real good about keeping the calves. There's a cow that's looking for a calf. Go find her. It. You know she's around here. Boy, it must. I just got out of the sun. It feels like it's 40 degrees cooler down in here. I told her to go find it. She took me at my word. You see her? She took off. She's still looking for it. It's around here. It didn't go anywhere. That's a good mama. I like cows that do that. I like them to find their calf. I think she just found it. Cows that don't have any concern for their calf, we sold one of them last week. Every time we make a cattle drive, she'd be at the front of the cattle drive, and the calf was out in the bush. You had to go find it, and sometimes it took you, 30 minutes or an hour trying to find the calf. And then the next cattle drive, she'd do the same thing. She'd stand right at the front. I don't have a calf. I want to move, and we put up with that. I think it was 3 moves, and I told the seller, if she can't be a better mother than that, I don't want her on the farm. And so we sold her. Problem was taken care of. They need to have motherly instinct, and if they don't, they're not going to have a home here. So they're taking this wire up right here. I'll show you how bad these ponds are as far as low, but we're still holding in there. And they're going after this grass. This is a big blue stem right here. This big blue stem came when we mulched this pond when we built it. So this would have been, this is of course fescue right here. Yeah, that big blue stem, they didn't waste any time on it, did they? Well, this skirt's holding up pretty good, isn't it?
So far, yeah.
Oh yeah, they won't be in any.
No.
You can tell though, Johnny could only get it so far out, you know, because the water was clear up here.
Well, the spillway, yeah, the spillway is like this level.
Yeah, right there where your foot is.
Maybe a little lower, but yeah, right in here. I mean, those cedars were mostly in water.
Yeah, they're mostly out of the water now.
Yeah.
Well, there's a fish.
Clean water.
Yes, clean water.
Clear.
What do you think it'd look like if we would have just let the cows have the pond?
Yeah, it'd be a mess. Well, you can see how soft this is.
Yeah.
Keep an eye.
Oh yeah.
If that was there's a bass right there.
Oh yeah. Where'd he go? He's in there.
So see.
He's in the trees there. Yeah. Only a fisherman would recognize that.
Gotta be careful when I'm putting in these ponds that sometimes I'm looking in the pond more than I'm watching where I'm walking.
Yeah. I just walked down that ridge a while ago, and there's a lot of forage up there. It's dry, but there's a lot up there. Which is gratifying, seeing as we haven't had a rain and we're getting the blast furnace temperatures.
Yeah. Where's your cat? You think we have it?
Oh, there's a calf right there. Whew, look at the muscle on that thing. Man, oh man. He looks like a bull calf, for sure. They're going after the shorter grass out here. Some of that is the big blue, but also the Korean Lespedeza. That's what that real short legume stuff is. Not very tall, but they're going to get it. The thing about Korean is it comes back every year. It's an annual. It just comes back from seed. There's tons and tons, and the plants don't kick on until it gets really hot. It helps if you get some rain, then it gets up about 2 feet high. This year, that didn't happen. It is the only warm season legume that we have in Missouri that really cranks when it gets hot, and that's Korean Lespedeza. Yeah, they're just working it over. Folks, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. We still got some chores to do this morning before it gets super hot, and we'll see y'all down the road. And for those of y'all looking for some really nice South Pole cattle, well, you need to check out that website of ours, greenpasturesfarm.net. There's a whole herd dispersal. You know, they look like these. I mean, they're good ones. They came out of our herd 3 years ago. We sold the guy a starter, and he lost his hay source. And so he's having to sell the cows, but somebody's going to have a really good opportunity to have some beautiful animals that are 100% forage raised. They're the right size, and they stay fat on grass. You don't break yourself feeding them grain because they don't need it. Have a good one, folks. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. See you next time.